Right, so we're continuing our lesson around design thinking in radio advertising and scripting and that sort of stuff. So we first looked at the D4G method, which is what is, what if, what whiles, and what works. We've done what is and what if. We now move to what whiles, which is the choices about where to focus first, what blows people away. In this design phase, it's all about the prototyping process. And essentially, it's the production phase of creating that, developing what it sounds like, the language we're using, the phrasing, the hook, the crumbs, the payoff, all those bits and pieces. And you must find the correct voice, a voice that fits the need of the audience, that can articulate the emotion you're looking for, as well as deliver the core message you want to land. So, are you looking for a recognizable voice? Ian F is the voice for Super Sports. He's a recognizable brand. So if you're a sports related brand, it's potentially a good option for you. And we've got many developing voiceover artists. Carol Forey is maternal and warm and still young sounding. And she's a brilliant voiceover artist where you can go and you can listen to her and she can help stick that landing, especially for a brand who's chasing a higher SEM. She'd be a great option. The brand must recognize your voice as being trustworthy and reliable and recognizable. Or maybe you want to sound new and inventive and brash. You could then go for someone who's maybe a bit more outlandish. Think about a Smash Africa, for example. Once you find that correct voice, you are good to go. There are obviously talent agencies, there are voice databases, AI will creep into the picture, which is devastating. Then what wows is to set up studio time with the sound engineer. So time in the studio where a sound engineer can sit there and help the process of creating a great voiceover. The sound engineer is effectively the executive producer of the ad, and they are incredibly important to us because they bring this vision to life. Find a sound engineer who sees the vision of the script, who understands the brand and its goal, and essentially the intended outcomes of it, and don't skimp on this, because a warm microphones are very, very different in quality. The standard is when you hear a good mic, you can obviously hear it's a good mic. I promise you, it's not something you can skimp on. So don't avoid the professional elements of the studio. Consumers expect sophistication in radio advertising. You can't sound amateurish. Many brands do. It affects the product. It makes it sound like something I don't trust as a consumer. I live in an era where the cell phone and the cheap road mics that you can buy off of the internet are now broadcast quality, so you can't skimp on those things. Great quality production holds credibility and enhances trust toward your product. If you're recording on an iPhone, how can I trust that you will take care of my insurance claim? It's all about that sense of trust and reliability. Great quality audio is a really important part of this, because bad quality implies bad services in the minds of your listeners. During this recording process, allow the engineer and the voice talent to find the space and the rhythm to execute this aligned vision. Too many cooks can spoil the broth rings true here. You want to make sure that you're not putting your fingers in the pies too many times. As someone who has been a voiceover artist, if someone says, sound more bright or sound more heavy, it can really pain you because it affects your product and your confidence and all that stuff. So keep it light and bright here. Trust the producer and the voice talents. And if you want to offer your input, do it reservedly. Give them the freedom to execute the vision you are trusting them with. Then we go to what works. What wows is now complete. We go to what works. It effectively allows us to judge how effective this radio commercial was. It's a vital part of the process to decide whether or not it actually worked for us. So you ask yourself, did it engage the audience? Did it engage a target audience? Did it amplify the target market's need or problems? Did it highlight the problem we're going to be solving? Does it offer a solution to the problem that they're suffering from? Is it capturing the listener's attention? Does it have an opening line, a hook that gets my attention? Does the advert create a picture in the mind? It's a visual medium in your brain, radio. So it's an important thing to help paint that mental picture. Does the story flow naturally? Did you focus on persuading customers to purchase the product or service? It's important to remember that you mustn't lose focus of the main point of the adverts and trying to be clever. The cleverness must amplify the messaging, but the messaging can't be lost. You maybe are making a killer joke, but you missed the point of the sale, and that would be a disaster. Don't get carried away with storytelling or making the advert creative without potentially neglecting the call to action component of the advert. Is it urgent and specific and clear enough that the audience knows what to do with our prompt for a call to action? Is the commercial original? We must understand that it must stand apart and be different from rival adverts. Don't use too many cliches in this process, right? We don't want a situation where we rely on tropes and problematic themes because people switch off. There could be nothing less exciting than hearing another dialogue of a woman who nags her husband to do work around the house and he's lazy because he wants to watch the rugby. Yeah, simple does work, but it really kind of blends into the background unless it's a really, really original joke. The old tropes of men being sex obsessed, or women hating their lazy husbands, or the character who is terrified, having an effeminate voice. All those elements are lazy tropes, and we should be better as creatives. Is there too much copy? Is there too much to get through? This is a real kind of amateur issue, is that you try to do too much. You almost include more than is necessary. No one needs the address. No one needs a contact number. Maybe a website is the closest we'll get nowadays. Make sure there's not too much copy or too much content being front-loaded into the advert. If the answer to those questions are no, rework the scripts, the production of the voice, and help that process become smoother. This is a good chance where AI may be integrated into the process. I hate AI. Let me make that clear. I really, really don't like it. But what we do know is that as a result of this, we can effectively allow ourselves the space to ask questions of our scripting and our performance using AI as a neutral voice in this, and we could rework it from that point going forward. Work until you get the desired outcome. It's much easier to skimp on the process, but you lose efficacy. So spend time working on it to get that combination of phrasings and hooks and blackouts correct. Remember, it takes a lot of practice to get it right the first couple of times, so don't expect that. Work until it is a winning piece of advertising that delivers on what you promised your clients and engages the audience. That's really what we have to do here. And that is effectively an idea of how we go about the process of design thinking when it comes to creating radio advertising.